Welcome to Greater Good Radio Hawaii, where leaders inspire leaders. Greater Good Radio Hawaii is dedicated to social entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Evan Leong, and with me is my co-host, Carrie Leong.
Today's guest is one of Hawaii's most celebrated comedians, Frank de Lima. Frank was one of the coveted Na Hoku Hanohano Awards for 11 out of his 13 comedy albums. He founded the Frank de Lima Student Enrichment Program in 1980, a nonprofit organization devoted to providing a better future for Hawaii students. Please welcome to Greater Good Radio, Frank de Lima. Welcome to our show, Frank.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
So you are involved with so many different things, but could you give us a brief synopsis of what you're doing on a daily basis?
All right. Well, I get up and I do the morning human things.
Hey,
and then
Frank, I said brief, okay?
Okay, brief. And then the mornings are usually occupied with a school. I visit a school. And after I'm done with that, then I maybe have a gig as a guest speaker for maybe a kidney association or something like that. And I usually go to these luncheons or dinners talking after dinner or lunch about laughter and its importance in everybody's daily life and how we have to be responsible, though, for, the jokes and all that kind of stuff because, and to me, I think that is so important for everybody to use the comedy that they enjoy properly. So that's the kind of stuff I talk about. Also, how laughter is very important for our physical makeup. Makes us relax, releases stress, that kind of stuff. And then nighttime, no more any gigs anymore. Steady gig in Waikiki, it's all gone. The last showroom left is the SOS main showroom at the Outrigger. Don Ho's just closed, and of course Mike Hirakawa has his magic show. But other than that, it's all luau shows now. So I'm not working steady at night. I do gigs. Anybody want a gig or have a gig and would like me to go and do my comedy? I'm available. www.frankdelima.com.
Thank you for that promo.
Thank you.
So is it like Frank de Lima Inc.? I mean, you have your own company that does all this kind of stuff?
Portolinga Productions. Porto means Portuguese. Linga means tongue or mouth, Portuguese mouth. Productions. Very interesting.
I'm wondering how you got started. Have you always been funny from the womb?
I don't know about from the womb, and I don't know about the first couple of years of my life, but according to my family, yeah. I used to, this as a baby, I used to make funny faces and do silly things. And then as I got older, I started to imitate and clown around, and that just became part of my life. It was a natural thing that I was born with. And because of the people that raised me, my parents, my babysitters, my aunts and uncles, I knew how to use my comedy or my gift of imitating properly. Sometimes I learned the hard way, like from my sister, because I did this imitation of a Japanese singer. I used to do that and copy the guy that was on TV that Mr. and Mrs. Yoneshige used to watch on Sundays, Japanese television digest, and they used to have these naniwabushi singers going like that. And so I went home and put on the blanket and the hit and the old sheet, I tore a piece, and I put glasses on the tip of my nose and my ukulele, I pluck the string and imitate them. And I practice, then I go over and do it for Mr. and Mrs. Yoneshige, and they bust out laughing. They gave me quarter. That was my first paid gig. I was only like 10 years old. And then I tried it out on my sister and her friends one day, and I got a slap, and get out of here, you pass. So I realized that it's you can do the comedy and you'll get a reaction, a good reaction from somebody, from one person, and not from the other. And so it's important that when you perform, the people that you're performing for ask you or are ready for you. In other words, you cannot just walk down the street and start to Japanese tourists, and that's why some people get upset. That's why they have all these rules in the workplace now. Yeah.
Have you ever had a situation where you first started where you just completely, bombed it? Or were you always good and everybody was laughing all the time?
Because of that lesson from my sister, every time I performed, the people were ready for me. So it was like a positive start. I walk out there and they're laughing. So anything I do is going to be funny. And most times the imitations were about people or things or TV characters or whatever, and freshen everybody's mind. And that's basically what I imitate. And so, you know, I had Chinese lion dance. I used to go, one Chinese New Year's, I had the thought of dressing up as a Chinese lion with my brother. He was the okole, I was the head. I made cardboard face and use a blanket for the body. And I got my friends to do the pots and pans and a bang, bang, bang. And so I said, Chinese New Year, so let's do like the real lions and go from house to house. And we went. Thinking we get money, yeah? But the first 3 houses were all Pake people, Chinese people, and they just clap, laugh, and close the door. Nothing. No money, nothing, so we got discouraged. But things like that, you know, it's all natural stuff.
So were you always titled class clown from in high school?
I was actually not a class clown. Class clowns usually get in trouble, right? At least that's the... I performed and I was like MC in high school, college, graduate school. I was the MC for a lot of the assemblies, luau's, and so forth. In elementary school, I belonged to the Cub Scouts, so I performed in the plays that the Cubs had. And if the class had a party and stuff like that, then they would ask me to go up and clown around. But other than that, no clowning around unless I was given permission.
Well, Catholic school, right? You get busted if you clown around.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing, man. My parents and my teachers worked as a team, and so you behave. And most parents and teachers worked as a team in the private schools. Yeah, otherwise you get kicked out. The line was so long for the next kid to want to come in, yeah, those days.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.